Ukraine's president is making a historic visit to the U.S. 301 days after Russia invaded his country. President Joe Biden personally invited his Ukrainian counterparts to Washington to discuss more assistance to the country. Nicole D'Antonio has more.
President Biden welcomed Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky to the White House on his first trip outside the country since the Russian invasion began.
Mr. President, great honor for me to be here.
It's an honor to be by your side in the united defense against what is a brutal war being waged by Putin.
With the conflict intensifying, the president announced a package of nearly $2 billion in military assistance to Ukraine. The package includes the first transfer of a Patriot missile battery to Kyiv, capable of shooting down incoming aircraft and ballistic missiles.
We're going to continue to strengthen Ukraine's ability to defend itself, particularly air defense, and that's why we're going to be providing Ukraine with Patriot missile battery.
Later today, President Zelensky will address a joint meeting of Congress. Lawmakers are preparing to vote on a spending bill that includes an additional $45 billion in emergency aid for Ukraine.
Now is not the time to take our foot off the gas when it comes to helping Ukraine.
The Ukrainian people are courageous and innocent, and they deserve our help.
With Republicans set to control the House in the new year, Zelensky is expected to appeal to members of the GOP concerned about a blank check approach.
I rise to strongly encourage our Senate friends across the hall to oppose this omnibus spending bill.
Russia's relentless attacks on Ukraine have plunged much of the country into the cold and darkness this winter. In an end-of-year speech to top military leaders, a defiant Russian President Vladimir Putin vowed to use all military capabilities to fulfill its goals in Ukraine. Nicole D'Antonio, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Congress is set to vote on the funding bill, including aid to Ukraine, later this week. Pope Francis called on people today to remember Ukrainian children suffering in this cold this Christmas. Last week, the Pope urged people to spend less on Christmas celebrations and gifts this year and send the difference to Ukrainians to help them get through the hunger and cold of winter. This as Ukrainian President Zelensky was heading to Washington for a summit with President Biden. Zelensky is expected to leave Washington with pledges of a massive $1.8 billion military aid package that would help his country defend itself from Russian aggression. Well, snow and below freezing temperatures. Our first weather team is following lots of weather happening right now. Summer Schnellbach will let us know what's going on after the break.